Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where I'm trying something different because I've been filming another video and I kind of did this for a little bit of it. Also, the table has always been a little noisy, other than I'm showing, depending on how well the camera is angled, that I'm in pajama bottoms while I record these. We're all just lucky I wear pants during this. Today we are covering Action Comics 200. Yes, Action Comics 200. We have done 200 Action Comics and God knows how many Superman stories, seeing that there's been 3 to 4 in each issue of Superman. I don't know why I have to keep explaining that. Some reason I think there's new viewers. There are no new viewers. I have like the 5 people who generally watch this, though I love you all. So how does Superman choose to celebrate Action Comics 200 stories? Why, good old-fashioned racism, of course. Yeah, it's not good. And outside of the racism, and let's probably put that a better way, but the actual story itself is pretty generic Superman. It's a story we've seen a lot in the 200 issues of Action Comics. Superman has not been great at depicting indigenous people in general, but specifically Native American indigenous has been not great. There's been some better depictions, and that's debatable to begin with, but this one's especially really bad. So this comic starts off with this whole thing where Perry White does not like to be called Chief. This really has nothing to do with the rest of the plot and just leads to a lame joke at the end. But a indigenous person comes in and they're having a problem with their leader and his leadership being questioned because he lacks courage. So he's going through a bunch of different tests, which is why this story is called, and I seem to have forgotten to bring up, Test of the Warrior. I'm sorry, it's Tests of the Warrior. Man, this new era is not going very well. But Tests of the Warrior. He is put through different trials from an evil medicine man who has rigged these trials. So Superman's going to help him out in each one secretly. I'm guessing some of you are going like, how many trials is there? It's 3, isn't it? It's always 3. It's actually not 3. It's around 5. It's amazing how they screwed that up. I don't even know what I'm complaining about. I kind of hate the 3 things he generally goes through. None of them are particularly memorable. There's the whole thing of him saving a boat, which is probably the most dynamic of them. There's one where he fights a bison. There's one that involves a Thunderbird, and Superman becomes the Thunderbird, essentially. The final task is wild. It involves swinging an axe that has dynamite in the handle, and I have no idea why this medicine man, who went, amazingly crazy with his final task with this dynamite in the handle to swing at Superman with an axe, that Superman wouldn't see this and do something about it. It's great. It's one of the best parts in this comic. But if you're wondering why I don't like the indigenous portrayal, other than like the super redskin, um, at least in other indigenous stories, the Native Americans are speaking at least somewhat plainly. It's not like the ridiculous racist caricature of how a Native American speaks. Here they do. From like the very get go, when we meet the first indigenous person, he makes like a smoke 'em peace pipe type line. Like, Jesus. Yeah, so somehow this depiction of indigenous people, and I guess I shouldn't be surprised with it being the 1950s, has gotten much, much worse over the past 16 or 17 years of Superman we have covered. There's not really much else to say. It's just a really terrible depiction in a story we've seen so many times. He has helped many different leaders or other people in power or other individuals pass trials to succeed while using his power so he can sort of secretly do it. It's up there for maybe top 5 generic template Superman stories you could be doing at this time. I definitely feel like we haven't seen one in quite a few issues, but yeah, I don't like this story at all, and it's really disappointing for like a really big anniversary issue of Action Comics. It's just not good in any way. And I have been trying to find positive things to say about these comics, but the 50s is difficult. Like, the best parts of the 50s is Superman just going wildly overpowered with things. But they can't seem to figure out the story, and we're going to be covering some Superboy stories later. We're going to have to play some catch up because Superboy, I didn't intend to cover Superboy at some point, but it turns out Superboy is way too important to ignore. So we're going to be getting to some Superboy stories, and when we get to those Superboy stories, those first couple of Superboy stories, the fact that they're 7 pages, and what already seems like a short amount of page count with these 14 pages is there is no fat in them. They're not like amazing stories, but they're Problem, how am I going to solve it? Solve it. They're so direct, and what I kind of find perfect for this kind of weaker storytelling to comics of the 50s. That's an unfair thing, but how they want to tell a story, sort of disposable for kids, works really well uh, with Superboy with 7 pages, but they can't seem to do it with Superman with 14 pages. It's just a lot of filler till the end. Okay, that is it from Action Comics 200 Tests of the Warrior. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications when a new video goes up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Friday is Bat Friday, where I cover a Batman story, either Detective Comics or Batman. Whenever I get back to that, I've been using that time to record another video that's going to be about a very, very, very recent, like just published last month, Superman story. And I'm really excited about this video because I have a surprising amount to say, and I didn't expect to have to do this video. I don't know when it's going to come, but I'm working on it slowly. And until next time, let's ponder the question: whatever did happen to the Man of Tomorrow? Oh, and the lame joke. Totally forgot about the lame joke. I was completely on everything else. Was that Perry wears a headdress, a chief's headdress, the ceremonial not flower, feathers, which is really disrespectful. And that's the whole point of the chief thing. And he's never going to complain about being chief again. I could be proven very wrong on that, but it's not something he's known to complain that he's called chief all the time. Okay, have a great day.